Who's there? Man off. Who's there? Why would anyone want to set up camp here? Something's not right here. Be careful. I think we may be in for some trouble.
Come forward. You have nothing to fear here. I am Knight Paladin Gelabor. Welcome to the Great Chantry of Auriel. Auriel, Halkosh, Akatosh, so many different names for the sovereign of the Snow Elves. I prefer Snow Elf. The name Falmer usually holds a negative meaning to most travelers. Those twisted creatures you call Falmer, I call the Betrayed. Of course, you're here for Auriel's bow. Why else would you be here? I can help you get it, but first, I must have your assistance. I need you to kill Archcurate Vertha, my brother. The kinship between us is gone. I don't understand what he's become, but he's no longer the brother I once knew. It was the Betrayed. They did something to him. I just don't know why Auriel would allow this to happen. They swept into the Chantry without warning, and began killing everyone without pause. The Chantry was a place of peaceful worship. I led a small group of paladins, but we were no match for the Betrayed's sheer numbers. They slaughtered everyone, and stormed the inner sanctum, where I believe they corrupted Vertha. He's alive. I've seen him, but something's wrong. He never looks as though he's in pain or under duress. He just stands there and watches, as though waiting. Leaving the way shrines unguarded would be violating my sacred duty as a Knight Paladin of Auriel, and an assault on the Betrayed guarding the inner sanctum would only end with my death. Yes, let me show you. This structure is known as a way shrine. They were used for meditation and for transport when the chantry was a place of enlightenment. Prelates of these shrines were charged with teaching the mantras of Oriel to our initiates.
What's that basin in the center signify?
Once the initiate completed his mantras, he'd dip a ceremonial ewer in the basin of the way shrine's center and proceed to the next way shrine.
So these initiates had to lug around a heavy pitcher of water. Marvelous. How long would they have to do that?
Well, once the initiate's enlightenment was complete, he'd bring the ewer to the chantry's inner sanctum, pouring the contents of the ewer into the sacred basin of the sanctum would allow him to enter for an audience with the arch-curate himself.
All that just to end up dumping it out? It makes no sense to me.
It's symbolic. I don't expect you to understand.
So, let's get this straight. We need to do all that nonsense to get into the temple so we can kill your brother and claim Ariel's bow.
I know how it all sounds. But if there was another way, I'd have done it long ago. The only way to get to my brother is by following in the initiate's footsteps and traveling from way shrine to way shrine, just as they did. The first lay at the end of Darkfall Passage, a cavern that represents the absence of enlightenment. There are 5 in total, spread far apart across the chantry. Caves? Oh no. The chantry encompasses far more than a few caves, as you'll soon discover. But before I send you on your way, you'll need the initiate's ewer. Once you've located a way shrine, there'll be a spectral prelate tending to it. They will allow you to draw the waters from the shrine's basin, as if you've been enlightened. This may be the last time we're able to converse. If you have any questions before you leave, I suggest you ask them. Otherwise, all I can do now is grant you my hopes for a safe journey. Questions? I expected as much. This is, or was, the epicenter of our religion. Most of the Snow Elf people worshipped Oriel. The chantry was constructed near the beginning of the First. Our empire had temples to... but those temples paled in comparison. Oh yes. They represented the... Sadly, the magic used to construct these wonders were lost long before I arrived here.
doing? Drop her already?
Huh? Yes? Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing. Take a look. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Needs... Yeah? Take a look. Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage? Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs. Until next time.
It's so bright out here. I don't know how you stand it.
Need something? Good morning. Take a look. See ya.
I welcome you. Take a look. May your road lead you to warm sands.
Oh, I'm sorry if I butcher this. Zico? How you doing, man? Man, same. Thankful, same as always. Yay, I'm almost there. Me too, to be honest with you. Sorry, man, I have a dark sense of humor. Really? Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And I'm playing, a lot of people ask, survival mode, what do they call that? Oh, geez.
Are you feeling sick?
Civil War mode. Just everything that makes it harder. And nothing that makes it easier.
Got some good blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
Nah. The only thing I want here is this.
Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything.
I believe so, sir. Yeah, I'm hitting a lot of things a lot of times, but everything is finally leveled up, so... But it's still taking me 2-3 hits to kill a crab. It's not insane, though.
I don't claim to... blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
What build am I going for? I usually play a paladin ranger type. What's thought to be like the old Templars of the 16th or 15th century. The Knights Templars. Of course, this game kind of makes it a little hard to obey all of them rules. I should have pulled that back out. Well, it doesn't matter, right? Nah, it's not that gets me, it's the killing. You're not supposed to kill a whole lot as a paladin. Why am I so heavy? Oh, that'll do it. Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. That was a boo-boo. Still 157 pounds. That's still really heavy, man. Why? Oh. That could have something to do with it. Yes, I do. I use my bow quite a bit. $149, that's better. Light on food. That might become a problem.
Wait, I know you.
You've been a good friend to me. That means
You can change the way the outlay looks. I've got more people in towns. The water looks different. The woods look different.
yeah.
You know, if you haven't played with mods before or seen really mods before,
You've come to the right.
I might run across a place you've been across before, but you might not recognize it. She must be sleeping.
A few drinks, a few laughs, and a contest. What could be better?
I enjoy this work well enough, but drink for the thirsty, food for the hungry.
Uh-oh. She doesn't have a whole lot in food here. Oh, 2 venison chops and a pie. That's gonna
Need
be cutting
anything
it
else?
close.
Just let me know.
Need something? Yeah.
Spent way too much time, huh?
Good morning.
This needs something? My brother John's got the right of it. My boy Lars has been getting incensed by a girl.
Yeah, I think the other one, Zico, is called Citizens. That I have loaded up there too. I loaded it so long ago, I don't really remember. It's hard for me to be 100% honest on a lot of this, but obviously I got Civil War, Legendary, water changes, wood changes, population, civilian changes, and Civil War. But what else I added, I don't know. Do you remember Vortex or MO2? No. There was a lot of mods, man. I was surprised. There's really a lot of mods. Plus I have Anniversary Edition, and I just pumped something else in a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago. I forgot what the name of it is. I also forgot where the heck I'm going. Why am I going this way? Uh-oh. It may not tell me where I'm going again. This could be bad news. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know way more about it than I do. I'm on PS4, so I'm limited too, you know. It's not like I'm on computer. Yes, PlayStation.
This one has something sweet for the fellow traveler.
I'm singing a different tune now. Sorry, my little Brian Regan impersonation. But anyhow, Zico, whatever I did with the mods, I started from scratch with it, and I've covered every second of this adventure on YouTube so far. So there's not 1 minute of play that hasn't been streamed.
I'm on my way to Solitude to join the Legion. The United Empire is better forever.
Sorry, got a quick save real quick here. Never know. I don't know, probably everyone's done it, but still. For my own little personal, right? As far as I'm concerned, it's the ARP of the decade. It's been around 10 years and it still ain't one better, so... Not that I've played. Don't really know. Really? Well, this is insane. I don't even think I want to waste my time.
Who's there?
That's what I want to know. Another elk. What's going on with the elks? Oh, do I have a top 5? Oh, gee, man. I've been gaming rather, so many. I'm old, man. I'm a first G gamer. I got my first gaming system in 1976. It's called Pong. Then after that, Pong and Skeet, then Atari, then Nintendo, then Sega, then, you know, then PlayStation. It's been a long run. I mean, there's old games that I love, like Might and Magic, but they wouldn't be that exciting today to young people at all. I don't know about that. I didn't babysit Abraham Lincoln's mother, did I? Honestly, through the years of what I played, okay, I will chill in this town for a second and go over this. For the games that I played in my day, probably the #1 game is something that's long gone. It was online, it was on PlayStation, it was called PlayStation Home. I was never so wowed as when I went through them doors. Another one would be a Japanese game called Daisen Raikou. It's about war, but in the sense of the general's position, not the foot soldier's position. And you got like 12, 16 countries to choose from, and you get everything that country has up till when it came out in 2006, minus nuclear weapons. So like the United States has aircraft carriers, but some countries don't. You know, or the United States, you know, like just whatever they have, whatever their equivalent is for plane, submarines, aircraft carriers, tanks, elite soldiers, regular forces, you know, whatever they have, artillery, helicopters, everything. But the computer ones today are better, Zico, to be honest with you, so I'm just saying I put a lot of hours in it on its day. Number 3. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if this is exactly in the top 5, but this is a great game. This is truly a great game. A poker game that I think Virgin owns right now. Yeah, a poker game that's owned by Virgin, I think, right now. I'm not really sure. The last time I know it sold was like 2011, I think, in September. But it's called Poker for Dummies, believe it or not, and it's probably one of the best poker games out there. As far as racing goes, really my favorite was Gran Turismo 6 and Gran Turismo the original. I don't know which one I like better. Gran Turismo the original because it's the original. Gran Turismo 6 because you got more cars to choose from and they're not getting ridiculous yet. You know, the last two that they put out, I'm not even interested in them. I bought the last one and I played it about 30 minutes and shut it off. I was done with it already.
I don't know how you stand it.
Final Fantasy 3, I think. 3 or 2. was probably the best Final Fantasy game. They had a guy with blonde hair that could do a double claw attack that was really kind of cool. Had a great storyline to it. Final Fantasy 7 was good, 9 was good, but 10 started getting a little gay. And then I think it was either 12 or 13 I bought. They went through like a 20 to 40 minute intro. I can't remember how long. It was really long and you couldn't really do anything but watch it. And you couldn't fast forward it. And finally the first fight came up. And one of the attacks, these microphone came up and these disco balls came up. And the attack on the monster was, I think it was Bahamut. The attack on the monster was dance. It was stupid. It was so stupid. I pulled the game out. It was $49. Walked over and threw it in the garbage. My wife got so pissed at me. Never bought a Final Fantasy game since. No interest. Of course, Street Fighter 2, but there's a couple you might not know, like Legend of Dragoon was good, and Street Fighter 2 was, Double Dragon was good. Of course, you go back to the, basics there. Asteroid is a good game. Space Invaders is a good game. Galaga's a good game. Donkey Kong's a good game. Pac-Man, never really one of my favorites. Geez, hold on here. There's more that I can go through with you that I thought was really good. Might and Magic on Sega Genesis is real good. It's an ARPG game that's wild, but you got to use a lot of imagination because they didn't really have the tech yet for graphics like this. Kind of like the original Grand Theft Auto. The original one, it's more like the guy's a red dot and the car's a red dot. It doesn't have the graphics that the PS2 version came out. Miami's Vice City. Vice City is when it got really good. But I got a couple without the graphics before. I got, like I said, the original for PS1 and then the one for Europe for PS1. There's a game online I want to check out, but I don't have a PC to play it. It's something about space, and there really is no story to the game. It's just infinite space, and you can build spaceships and stuff like that, and I guess they fight each other. I guess they have a pope and presidents and stuff like that. It's really kind of big from what I understand. I might like to get into that. I was watching it. One guy took 6 years to build this giant spaceship that he had, like the Death Star, and it got destroyed. If you can imagine putting 6 years of work in and watching it just poof. That's commitment. Now, granted, after 6 years of play, I'm sure that he had other Death Stars that were probably close to as big as that one, but still, it's terrible to lose your flagship. I'm not really sure what the name of it is, but I'm sure it's not Starfield because I would remember. But it's wild, man. It seemed wild, and I don't know if people are making money in it or not. I doubt it, maybe, but it seems like a cleaner world than Second Life. Second Life really has nowhere to go anyhow. It's really just more about community. And I think that this provides a better outlet if you're looking for community than Second Life does, because you're not dealing with as many pervs, I'm certain, True game is kind of weed them people out. I think what else is a great game that I liked? back in the day, I liked Warlords on Atari. And there was this Tarzan one. The worst game that I ever played, though, was E.T. Oh, God, that game was so bad. You got an E.T. character, and it would fall in a hole, and you would never be able to get this thing out of the hole. And there was just almost no way around of not landing in the hole. You know, it was just the worst game ever, by far ever. But I played one about a month ago that I thought... Actually, I baited one for Hellfire Games a little while back. It was a take from one from PlayStation Home. I'll try to remember the name of it. I think it was Skylines or something like that. It was friggin' terrible, bro. Terrible. Hey, they sold it as a game. What do you want me to tell you? I got to pay for it. I was a little disappointed, to say the least. But, this game that I was beta testing, oh my gosh, I was in there for like 3 weeks. I got it on my other channel when they allowed me to show the beta test on halfway through the 3rd week, almost the end, you know? And I was able to stream it early on YouTube before anybody could get it, which was more of an embarrassment than it was an enjoyment. But I brought it out and I showed the people what was what in the game and went through it. And then the next day I had to go in to give my report. And I'm not a hacker or a glitcher or, you know what I mean. What I do is I do community management. So I had to go in and give them a report of who was going to play, what age group was going to play, how long were they going to stay, what game, you know, what part of the game were they not going to like, what part of the game were they going to like, just a whole bunch of statistics like that. They fire a billion questions at you, you know, and I went to my buddy that asked me to do it for him, or else I would have never done it anyhow. I had already retired from doing that crap. And I told him what I thought of the game, and I said, I don't think I want to tell him this. And he said, well, you know, you just have to tell him the truth, all bad. Just tell him whatever it is. I'll stand behind you. So I went in, and leader of Hellfire Games, such a friggin' snob of a woman, she actually had her name as her avatar, Hellfire Games. Like, what kind of authority trip are you on? You know what I mean? You can't even be real and use Mike or Sue. You know, you gotta go with your company name, you know, so it's just like, you know, they want to be God sometimes. It's just nuts. So anyhow, I had to tell this lady, I said, and I'm assuming it's a lady, who knows, you know, but I told her, I said, look, man, there ain't no way this game's gonna fly. You know, you're gonna have kids between the age of 5 and 8 years old. That's all it's gonna come in here and stay for more than 5 minutes, and they're gonna be done with this game. You know, and I said, even them, they're only going to stay for 15, 20 minutes because they can make their avatars weird. And once they're done with that, it's over. They're leaving too. I said, you can fix it by buying like a poker game from somebody. And I explained to them that like Poker for Dummies might be for sale, or high stakes poker might be for sale. And they can buy them fairly cheap, you know, like a couple $1,000s. I mean, you got 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, $1 million, 10 million invested in this game. Or what's another couple $1,000s? I mean, literally like $2,000. You know, installation time take about a month, you know, but because they only had a team of 6. You know, take a little time to download it, but no big deal, right? It's in the system, you know, you walk through a door, there's a poker room, people will show up to play poker at any time, you know, so you're going to get some crowd. She yelled at me, called me an idiot, called me some other choice words and stuff like that. 2 days later, the game opened up. It went down exactly like I said, and they're no longer in business. Right after that, EA got a hold of me. They wanted me to do some beta for ESO. I guess they were changing it somehow or something like that, and they wanted me to go do some on that, and I said no. And I've never baited anything after that. I've just not been asked or approached, and probably wouldn't do it anyhow. Any more questions, sir? No, I've been out of the field. That, how long has it been since I've done that? My wife got sick. Before that. Before that. So, I think it's been like, I want to say 9 years since I've done one. 8 years since I've done one, something like that. Maybe as short as 7, but that's still, you know, quite some time. And I don't suspect that Sony will ever come looking for me again, because they've really done away with community. So community management with Sony would be basically irrelevant. I wish that they hadn't done away with it, but they did, and there's really nothing I can do about that. I've tried. I've yelled, I screamed. At the time, you know, I had some pretty important players, and not just Sony, but Google, EA, Capcom, Ford, just about everybody. I don't know if I ever really met anybody from Bethesda, I want to be honest. You know, I don't really know. But you know, all them friends kind of went away when, back in 2013, I got into a big fight with them because they started saying things like, you can't call people gay, and you can't say this, and you can't say that, and you can't say the other thing. And they started getting weirder and weirder about this stuff. And then the people that were like mini moderators or guides, whatever you want to call them, and the moderators, they really went kind of berserk, because the only people that they were talking to was people that said, yeah, exactly, they said, oh, you're this, you're great, this game is great, even if it was terrible. They just didn't tell them the truth. And I call them yes men or butt kissers. And when I was a kid, my dad taught me there's only two type of workers and butt kissers, and they don't get along. You know? And I'd far rather hang out with the workers than the butt kissers any day of the week. Not being mean, just being honest. Everybody's entitled to the way they want to live, you know, but... So, I had a couple issues with them, and I was quite loud about it. Maybe a little too loud for my own benefit. The modern term is glazing? Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. It was rampant, dude. It was rampant. It was horrible. You know, and it's just getting worse and worse. And the freedom of speech thing was the final straw for me. You know, I didn't want anything to do with people losing their freedom of speech. So,
Hello, friend. Make yourself...
Well, it's been a while. You know, I can't really tell you the whole story, Zico, because I signed a lot of contracts and stuff. And to be honest with you, the contracts that they made out are a lot like the contract you get just to play. I didn't read all of it. You know, so I don't know really what I'm allowed to discuss in that and what I'm not. So I don't really discuss, you know, any of my beta testing time with Sony at all because of that. Yeah, I don't, so I just don't know. Why bother, you know what I mean? It's not important. It doesn't matter who did what and whose name is who, you know? But, after a short period of time, you know, like, basically one day, I went from having, like, a lot of friends that were in the business to no friends in the business, basically. I would say 2/3 of everybody I knew walked at the same time. And it was all for the same reason, because I wasn't willing to, you know, scratch their ears. I wasn't willing to lie to them. Kind of a sucky reason. But I figured, you know, this is like a fad, and one day it'll change. And Trump seems to be doing a good job on it, but it's been 10 years now, so I don't know if I'll ever get back in the field again or not. And it's kind of a shame because my generation is old, you know? Once the first generation goes, everything that we had for knowledge all them years is gone. A lot of the reason why the games aren't so great today, and they were better in PS3 times, which is a PS3 game, by the way, is because of that beta thing. Because a lot of the people that really cared about the games and stuff walked. And the only ones that really stayed were the butt kissers. So no workers and a ton of butt kissers means crappy games. If you want to fire another question at me, Zico, feel free. Like I said, some things I can't discuss, some things I can. Personal, I always can. Let's see. They're not even going to show me where I was. That's really kind of them. Maybe I can guess it. I'm gonna guess that's it, but man, I'm not sure. Alright, where the hell am I? Why can I not see me? Oh. Just when I saw me, boom. I'm right near it, cool. I can't believe I ran right back to it. The gaming world is hitting a new low, especially with how Nvidia is doing. We might lose Nvidia. They're highly vested in like South Korea and stuff like that, like Samsung and LG. And South Korea just decided that they are communist, believe it or not. I don't want to use the word communist. I should try to be more accurate. I think they've just elected a socialist president. Well, now we're gonna see if we're in the right cave. 85% chance it's not. Oh, it is. Well, how about that? That's friggin' lucky. I got kinda heavy and I wanted to run back before I ran into too much trouble. La splat. Well, how the hell did I die? I fell in the water. Well, that was cute. He hit the cement water like a rock. Whoa, that was close. Why did I run right back in that same hole? slow my descent a little bit. Yay, I didn't die that time. Sweet. Yeah, it's still one of the best games I've ever played. Definitely the best ARPG I ever played. Can't take that away from it. This game, as you can tell, me too. Okay. Alright, what the hell's going on here? It's not just a big empty room. Okay, we came in there. No way out that way. There we go. What a tard. Exactly where I needed to be. This is where I'm gonna save, man. I didn't want to go in here heavy.
I expected as much.
I weighed like 350, 60 pounds. Now I'm weighing, this is long in here. I'm gonna pick up a lot of stuff, I think. And I weigh 154, so 200 pounds less of carry.
Questions?
Sweet,
I
right?
expected as much. Questions?
That's right, I'm behind
I
you.
expected as much.
Freak the
Questions?
guy out.
I expected as much. Questions? I expected as much.
Any more questions, Zico, man? Because I'm getting ready to crash out pretty soon here. If you want any advice from me, here's the two things. Stand up for your rights, don't be a butt kisser. And gaming, it should always be for gamers. If you ever get into development or anything like that, gaming, always be a gamer's gaming guy. You know, never be for the corporate, always be for the gamer. Aren't you interested in Oblivion? No, because I've played Oblivion so many times, I'm Oblivioned out. And I don't think it's worth me buying a PS5 for $500 and then the game for $50. I mean, you think that Oblivion Remastered is worth $550? My answer is no. It might be for you, but not for me. I'd rather go out and buy 20 turkeys and give them away to poor people than do that. Not for one game. Oh, a little bit of my background. I have 12 work units in life. That means that I help build Google Chrome. I also am the founder of all poker player clubs in Sony, period. I'm the founder of all of that. And they had a thing called Homestyle, PlayStation Homestyle magazine. It had 5 million subscribers, came out once a month. Just to put everybody's subscriber's name in there one time would have taken something like 1,000 years. That's how small it was, you know. And I made the front cover of that twice. 3 times I was a major in articles in there, and 1 time as a minor in articles in there. I have a lot of accolades. I was offered the code for Atari back when I was 14 in 1980, and my mom wanted me to do it, and I said no because, you know, my thought to my mom was, Mom, a future is not solid if you're building it in gaming. In 1980, that was true. Today, it is not. Hey, it was a great chat, Zico. God bless, man. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. Because I'm struggling here. No, I'm not struggling. I stole it from a guy called SC Reviews, if you want to look him up. He's hilarious. Anyhow, give the credit where the credit's due. God bless Zico. God bless everyone else. See you next time.